Hey everyone, and welcome to today's explainer. So I want you to picture something for a second. Imagine a hand holding a marker, stepping up to a completely blank, totally clean whiteboard, getting ready to sketch out a brand new path. Well, that is exactly our canvas for today. We are going to completely flip the script on traditional success advice, and instead we're going to focus entirely on the art of eliminating the unnecessary. Let me ask you a question. Are you just constantly adding to your to-do list? Do you ever get that feeling where cramming more and more into your day somehow moves you further and further away from your actual goals? It's incredibly frustrating, right? It's like you're running on a treadmill that keeps speeding up, but you're not actually going anywhere. Well, the source material we're digging into today comes from a highly successful entrepreneur who realized something absolutely wild. When people ask him, hey, what is the secret to your massive success? His answer is completely counterintuitive. It all boils down to this idea of addition by subtraction. Basically, true productivity isn't actually found in what you do. It's found in what you aggressively choose to quit. Okay, let's lay out our roadmap for today's explainer. We're going to hit 1, the power of subtracting. 2, reclaiming your schedule. 3, guarding your personal energy. 4, freeing your mental space. And finally, 5, the ultimate subtraction. Think of this as your clear plan to unburdening your life. All right, let's jump straight into section 1, the power of subtracting. I want you to wipe your mental whiteboard totally clean for just a second. We really need to actively challenge this baked-in assumption that success means constantly piling more and more stuff onto your plate. So let's look at the actual definition of addition by subtraction. It is the philosophy of gaining immense value and velocity by removing clutter rather than adding new tasks. When this entrepreneur audited his own life, he realized something huge. Getting to the next level, it wasn't about stacking up a bunch of fancy new life hacks. Not at all. It was about systematically stripping things away. I love this analogy because it illustrates the concept so perfectly. You have to cut the sandbags to rise. Think about a hot air balloon for a second. You don't make that thing go higher by just pumping in more and more fire. No, you make it rise by cutting the dead weight. Removing the clutter in your life is literally the fastest way to add upward velocity. Moving right along to section 2, reclaiming your schedule. This builds perfectly on our foundation because if you want to achieve extraordinary things, you absolutely have to become ruthless about your external time. Let's talk about being busy versus being productive, because honestly, we confuse these two all the time. On the one hand, you have endless meetings. Look, that's a fake out. It just gives you permission to avoid doing the actual hard, deep work. Busy people fill their calendars to dodge the heavy lifting. But on the productive side, that's blank calendar space, the space you need to make 1 or 2 critical decisions. You just can't make those massive needle-moving calls if you don't have the blank space to sit down and actually think. So the pro move here is aggressively erasing your schedule ruiners. Let's rapid fire through these. Phone notifications, turn them off. You literally cannot hit a flow state if your phone is buzzing. Unknown numbers, here's a brilliant trick from the source. Send them straight to voicemail. Because if you're committed to a task in front of you, that task wins, period. Last-minute cancellations, cut that out. You're just broadcasting to the world that you're undependable. And finally, you have got to quit saying yes to everyone. Saying no to other people is exactly how you say yes to your own goals. You know, one of the biggest lies in modern work is multitasking. It's a total myth, and it slows the brain to an absolute crawl. Try this experiment sometime. Count 1 to 10 out loud, and then recite A through J. Super fast, right? Now try alternating them out loud. 1, A, 2, B, 3, C. I guarantee your brain suddenly hits a brick wall. Multitasking is entirely fake. We've got to replace it with focused tasking. You lock into one single task, you absolutely crush it, and then you move on. Let's dive into section 3, guarding your personal energy. Because let's be real here for a second, a beautifully optimized, perfectly color-coded schedule means absolutely nothing if you sit down at your desk and you are completely drained. This is where we need a little tough love. Here are the energy drainers that need to be on the chopping block today. First, energy vampires. And yeah, that even includes family members or old mentors if they've just become constant critics. You have to do a friend inventory. Second, vices and partying. Look, getting to your next level requires leaving those firmly in the rearview mirror. Third, emotional eating. True confidence comes from keeping promises to yourself, and that starts with what you fuel your body with. And lastly, trying to make everyone happy. You are simply not responsible for their reality. Cross these out fast. Now, take a look at this time, 9 p.m. The speaker proudly says he turns into a pumpkin at 9 p.m. Think about how crazy that is. Most of us set an alarm to wake up, right? Well, he sets an alarm to tell himself it's time to go to sleep. He completely quit the habit of staying up late. He would genuinely rather mildly annoy a few people by leaving a dinner party early than sacrifice his deep morning focus. By quitting those late night social hours, you guarantee that you wake up energized and ready to execute. All right, moving to section 4, freeing your mental space. We've cleared your schedule, we've protected your physical energy, but now we really need to sweep out that internal cognitive clutter and the overthinking that is seriously bogging down your brain's RAM. Let's rapidly erase 4 hidden mental burdens you probably didn't even know were holding you back. Number 1, quit those rigid 17-step morning routines. If missing your morning cold plunge ruins your entire Tuesday, your routine is way too fragile. Number 2, stop memorizing tiny business details. Offload that stuff and free up space for high-level thinking instead. Number 3, drop the guilt about not finishing books. Read 3 chapters, get one massive life-changing idea, close the book, boom, you won. And number 4, quit short-term thinking. Shortcuts will always burn you eventually. You have to play long-term games. Now, this right here is the magic number to cure analysis paralysis. 70%. We spend so much mental energy obsessing over making the absolute perfect decision that we just end up totally stuck. But the goal isn't to make a flawless decision right out of the gate. If you have 70% of the information you need, you just have to make the call, get moving, and then figure out how to course correct along the way. And that ties perfectly into this standout quote from the Source's mentor: "The point of leadership is making decisions with imperfect data." I want you to really let that sink in. Moving quickly, rather than flawlessly, is the ultimate secret to freeing up a massive amount of mental space. And that brings us to section 5, the final piece of the puzzle, the ultimate subtraction. This is where we dive into the deepest personal psychology and those stubborn ego mindsets that absolutely must be erased to find real fulfillment. For years, literally everybody has told us to strive for work-life balance, like we need to build this giant artificial brick wall between the two. Well, actually, scratch that. Our source quit trying to separate them entirely. He actively embraced work-life integration. If he's traveling and living life, his family, friends, and business partners are all just blended together naturally. By erasing that artificial boundary, you completely remove the daily friction of constantly managing 2 separate lives. Next, we have to walk through the final steps of unburdening by erasing these 3 toxic mindsets. Step 1, quit blaming other people. The very moment you accept your situation is 100% your fault, you instantly give yourself the power to change it. Step 2, quit caring what others think. If you're making choices based on unqualified opinions, you're literally living someone else's life. And step 3, which is probably the boldest one, quit comparing yourself to everyone else. You don't have their genetics. You don't have their brain. Strive only to be a tiny bit better than you were yesterday. We have covered a ton of ground today, exploring how true success is so rarely about adding more to your plate. It's really about aggressively subtracting the noise. So I want to leave you with this final provocative question. What will you erase today? Out of everything we just went through, what is the very first thing you need to take a giant eraser to in your own life? Just pick one thing, wipe it clean, and watch